Welcome back to Harriet's Florida Kitchen. I'm Harriet. This is my kitchen, and we're in Florida on a beautiful spring day. And it's been about a year, no, it's been over a year since the COVID horribleness all started, and we all went into our caves and pretty much didn't come out again, and had to say goodbye to friends and family and parties and hugging. But now people are beginning to escape, and I think it's time to do something that will allow you to entertain with ease once you decide that you're comfortable, whether it's inside or outside. Now, I got this recipe, so I'm doing chicken and phyllo today. Now, I got this recipe from my great pal, Anne, whom we visited many times in Michigan. And she got this, she's a great entertainer, which is probably not the right way to say it because that makes her sound like a stripper. She's not a stripper, she's a hostess, and a great hostess. But her mother-in-law is an even more fabulous hostess. Her name is Joni, and Joni entertained people for all kinds of reasons, all kinds of places, in Michigan and Florida. Anyway, she had a beautiful, glossy, chocolatey brown painted dining room, wonderful china and table, and all kinds of variety and kinds of ways that she did it. And beautiful lighting made you feel beautiful when you were in her room. But she served the most elegant dinners. They were so fabulous. And it turned out one of the reasons she's such a good hostess is because she knows how to do super simple things that look elegant and are easy. And one of the things that she made was this chicken and phyllo. She does chicken breasts. Devoted followers of Harriet's Florida Kitchen no, I don't like chicken breasts. I like dark meat. So I'm making this with chicken thighs. But she told me, I asked her for the recipe, of course, and she gave it to me, but she also told me it was in this great cookbook. So this is an old cookbook from the Junior League of Palo Alto, second private collection. And it's one of those great cookbooks that gives you also great ideas for what to serve with this. So then they sound hard, but aren't. They're really easy. I'm not doing all of those today. I'm just doing the chicken. But they recommend that you serve this with chicken with mushroom souffle, gingered carrots, watercress, and endive salad. I've done it. It's really easy. It's great. So I'm just going to start you off on the chicken. It makes 12 servings. So I'm going to make one today while I'm going to cook it for you so you can see how delicious it is. I'm going to do them in little separate containers. So because if you want to do 12 for a big party, great, or for 6 hungry eaters, fine. But I like to do them so that I have the variety as I need them. So you can do them in little groups of 2, you can do them in groups of 4, you can do them in groups of 6. That way you can put them in the freezer. They're ready for you to pull out at a moment's notice. And if you are having only 2 people and you have a frozen thing of 6, you can also kind of peel them apart. So first we're going to do the chicken. I'm going to show you the sauce that goes into it. It's super easy. I mean, in real time, it's going to take something like 5 minutes. And then I'll show you how to do the phyllo pastry. That may be the part that you think is nervous making, but it shouldn't be. It's really easy to do once you kind of see how to do it. And you just defrost it the night before and put it in your refrigerator. I mean, it's frozen, so you put it in your refrigerator the night before, kind of gently defrost. And I'll show you how to keep it soft and keep the air off of it while you're working on it. That's the tricky thing, and while you're buttering it and doing one at a time. Anyway, it's all very easy. So I will show you. As usual, I have prepped everything, gotten it ready just before we get started. So I've put together a 1.5 cups of the mayonnaise, and you can make your own mayonnaise, or you can just use Hellmann's mayonnaise or Duke's mayonnaise. Those are the 2 that I really like. I wouldn't go anyplace else. I certainly wouldn't use something like Kraft, something like that. Then you mix in a cup of chopped green onion, these are also called scallions. Now, you can buy those pre-cut at the grocery store, but if you do, you need to go ahead and chop them up a little more finely yourself just to make sure they're the right size. Now, next it calls for 1/3 cup of lemon juice. Now, these are Meyer lemons. They're a little bit more expensive than regular lemons, but they surely are juicy. I mean, you can depend on a Meyer lemon having a ton of juice in it. And I think it usually takes it takes at least a couple of lemons, I think, to make 1/3 cup of lemon juice. But start with start with the 2 lemons, and I think you'll be fine. But anyway, be sure you have extra on hand because you need it to be 1/3 cup. Then you stir all of that up, keep it going.
Next, you put in 2 teaspoons of dry tarragon. You can use fresh tarragon if you want, but there's really no need to for this. You can use the dry, and you dump that in. Keep stirring. Get it all blended in there. The more you can blend it, the better it is. And finally, I like to push out, I'm not showing it here, but I like to mash the cloves of garlic with the flat side of a knife so that I can get the peeling off really easily. Then you put those 2 pieces into, in this case I have this wonderful handy little thing that looks like a baby buggy, and you just roll it across the counter and push those in. And really, that's all there is to making this sauce. It's very, very, very easy. Now, as mentioned, this is usually what somebody would think is the tricky part. But it's not. If you just do it once or twice, once you do it, you're going to realize it really is very simple. Now, you buy the phyllo in the freezer department, and you just keep it in the freezer. And you pull it out the night before, and you let it defrost all day long until you want to use it again. Actually, it can stay in the refrigerator for several days. I'm not sure how long it'll stay, but it's not that tricky. It's just this very dry stuff. So you pull it out, and you'll see it usually comes in these 2 long sealed tubes. It's nice to save those tubes in case you have extra. At the end of this, you will use one whole tube. You will only use a little bit of the second tube, so it's nice to be able to put it back into that, roll it up in the tube it came in, and then roll the whole thing up in a little saran wrap and put it back in its box, and you can then refreeze it actually. So you open it up and you unroll it, and then you lay it out very, very gently and carefully. The whole thing, you sort of open it up and you put it on the counter. I put it on saran wrap because I want to be able to put another piece of saran wrap on top of it as I work, because that keeps it airtight. So you take off a piece of the phyllo, you then cover the rest of it with a piece of saran wrap so that it seals just a little bit around the edges. You're going to keep doing it up and down, up and down, up and down, but the saran wrap will pretty well stay on it and keep the air out. So you have your piece that you're going to work on, and you lay that out. If it's folded on the sides, gently unfold as much as possible. You've melted a 1.5 cups of butter. Now, I don't know that you really need a 1.5 cups of butter, but you certainly need a cup of butter, and you may need a little more. Now, do take a pastry brush to do it. Don't pour it on, and don't pull the pastry brush across the phyllo. It's so delicate that it will easily tear. So you dab the butter on all the way across. Get as much of it on there as you can. If you miss a few bits, it'll be fine. Now see, that's folded over. So if you can gently unfold it again. It's not going to be, and if it tears, fine, it'll be fine. Now, you're going to make sure that stays there, and you take another piece of saran wrap. Not another piece of saran wrap. You take the saran wrap off of the phyllo, and you very, very, very carefully pull off one and only one sheet, and you carefully put that sheet of phyllo onto the existing buttery one. And it's tougher than it looks, but still got to be careful. So now see, that's folded under, but it's not a problem. It'll be fine. So get that straightened out. Then do not fail to put the saran wrap over the stack that's waiting for you, because it will dry out very, 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 very quickly. And again, you take the brush, and this time you're even more careful, because it's going to tear, because now it's getting sort of wet from below. It's getting moist from below from the rest of the butter. So you dab the butter on. Get it as much as possible all over, including on the edges. Very important. Now, you take a tablespoon. Now, this calls for using a 1.5 tablespoons of the sauce on the bottom and a tablespoon on top. If that sounds a little too finicky, it's not. You're going to come out with just the right amount of sauce. You don't want to overdo it by any means, so don't put more than it calls for. And if you do it just with the 1.5 tablespoons, sort of loosely, but that's what you do, then you'll be happy with it. Now, in this case, I did not put the bit on top. You're definitely supposed to put some more of the sauce on top on this particular chicken, but the next one you'll see I do it right. So you're also supposed to salt and pepper all of these. I just find it easier to salt and pepper as I go, just a little bit at a time. Now see how I lifted the saran wrap with the phyllo up? That helps you lift it and keep it kind of flat as you do that. So you pull the pieces gently over the chicken, and then you wrap it as if you were, I don't know, wrapping a flag at a funeral or something. I mean, that's what I've noticed at military funerals. So you wrap that over, nice little packet, and put the tidy side on top, and you just put it in the container. You don't have to butter the dish because you, of course, got plenty of butter on your stuff, and you're going to be pouring some butter over those things, or yeah, it's easier just to pour later. All right, so now you're getting out another piece of saran. I'm not going to take you through all 12 of these, but I will show you the first two and tell you. So now your fingers are getting a little buttery too, so that's another thing to be careful about. So put the new piece out. Put it on the saran wrap. Now, don't forget to put the saran wrap on top. Don't forget to put the saran wrap on top of the other stack. That's right. Okay, now put a tablespoon. Put the butter it up. Yep. Get the butter. And again, you dab the butter on. You do not at all pull the brush all the way across. You're going to put a second piece on top of all of that. You're going to make sure that you put the saran wrap on top of the stack again. After you pull the second one off, it's so easy to forget the saran wrap, which I started to do. Whoop, whoop. Put the saran wrap back on. That's it, exactly. Now, dab some butter and get some more of the sauce that goes on top. Goes on the top of the phyllo pastries, phyllo pages.
Whoops.
Yep. And tablespoon and a half. Now, one of the things that's going to start happening is I put my chicken in a bowl. You can put it on a plate, whatever you want. I washed it very carefully before I did this, and the water begins to sort of seep into the bottom of it also. I start also using a paper towel to dry off the chicken. I think it's very important for the chicken to be dry. Do not let it, if the juice from washing it gets down into it, it's going to make your little phyllo packets get, well, kind of juicy, not too nice. Okay, so this one rolled up this way. Notice I put the sauce on top of that one. Remembered to do it. There are parts of this you can forget. It won't be the end of the world, but it'll be kind of not quite as nice. Okay, and so we're going to repeat that. We're going to repeat this whole system 12 different times. You're going to go through all 25 sheets of the ones in the first little packet, and you're going to use, it can't be 25 sheets, or you wouldn't have to open the other one. There must be, actually, I think I've usually found there are only 22 or 23, although it says more than that. So you'll have to use just one or two more from the other packet. Anyway, you get all of those done, and when you're through with all those, and it usually takes me just right at about 30 minutes to actually get all of those done. And I recommend you put on some nice Mozart or something to listen to, some rock and roll, and you'll entertain yourself as you do your phyllos.
Okay, it was in the oven for 25 minutes at 375, and now it's out again. And as we know, proof is in the eating, although it does look really amazing. Now, if it looks a little chewed on, that's because I filmed this a few minutes ago when it was really fresh and great, and I didn't actually film it. I just photographed it. So, too bad I have to take another few bites. Oh, that's so painful. So, I already happen to know it's amazing. I'm gonna wait a minute, knife. Okay, I already know it's amazing. Now I'm gonna cut in. I wonder if it wouldn't be good good for you to be able to see that. Maybe not. Anyway, all right. Cutting in. Oh my gosh, this pastry is so amazing. It's so easy. Well, you saw that it was not very hard to do. But wow, for the results, it's great. Okay, okay. What a surprise. It's just as good as it was 10 minutes ago. Oh, but it is really good. It's kind of, it's a little bit lemony. You might imagine a little bit garlicky, obviously, a little bit tarragon-y. It is just super. You will just blow people away when you have this. You'll blow yourself away. It's amazing. And what's great about it was the way that I divvied it up. So I have one friend who's getting ready to have cataract surgery, so I'm going to freeze some for her, a couple for her. Another friend just had knee surgery, freeze some for her. Having a friend for dinner tonight. He'll be our guinea pig. So I did 6 for us for tonight. And so what is that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 2 more in the freezer for whenever. And so what I'll probably do is make another batch of 12 and divvy them up again so that I just have them hanging around so that I can do as Joni did, which is whip them out of the oven, whip them out of the freezer at a moment's notice, defrost them before you bake them. And so I'd probably take them out the day before you actually do anything with them and put them in the refrigerator, obviously, out of the freezer into the refrigerator. And then they'll be ready to pop in the oven and have one of the many delicious things you can have. We're gonna have a green salad with it tonight. And vanilla ice cream with chocolate sauce. Pretty easy dinner. Okay, thanks for joining Harriet's Florida Kitchen. I think I'll just have another bite. That'll make about 10 bites of this one dish I've had. Oh, flaky. Oh. Bye-bye.